You address uncomfortable topics with your partners.
Directly, go right through.
For example, not finding your partner attractive. So you say just straight up.
I like the wisdom, don't ever use the word you.
Yeah, I feel this way because it's a me thing versus rather than you.
Yeah, because you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So tell me how you're feeling. Don't blame me for how you're feeling.
My 5-year husband and I divorced because I was fat. He regrets it now, and I live a healthier life. She looks amazing. No surgery, no diet. 12 months, I did it.
I put the coffee name on my homepage. If you need to lose weight, you can try it.
And when you go to the comments, the things people won't do for love, but will do out of spite. You should refund him for wasting his time.
Why not do it while married?
That's the thing. He didn't deserve you at your best because you never gave it to him.
You address uncomfortable topics with your partners.
Directly, go right through.
For example, not finding your partner attractive. So you say just straight up.
I like the wisdom, don't ever use the word you in that type of conversation. I'm struggling with being attracted to you right now. I'm worried about your health. That is different than you did this. Because when soon as you say you, I have to build a wall to protect myself. You just came swinging. I got to block your punches. If I say I'm struggling with this, which is the real truth here, I'm worried about you, which is the real truth here, that's an invitation. And it might be a scary, hard, uncomfortable invitation. But anytime somebody goes, you've been acting great, man, you're off to the races now. They have to defend themselves. Versus, I feel like I'm not being heard in this house. Like, that's me. And now let's have that conversation.
How do you address uncomfortable topics with?
What do you think about that?
I think that'll solve probably the majority of people's problems in relationships. If you're able to address it with the actual problem, which is that you're bothered by it. So you address it that way instead of pointing at me as a cause for you to be bothered. So if you tell me, hey, I'm bothered when this happens, rather than, hey, you're bothering me when you do that, it's like, all right, well, chill, dude.
Yeah, I feel this way because it's a me thing versus rather than you. So
yeah, because you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So tell me how you're feeling. Don't blame me for how you're feeling. You're feeling that way.
Yeah.
And maybe I did something that caused it, but they start with telling me how you feel of what I did. If you just tell me that I did it and you feel bad by it, I guess I lock up. Like, maybe I don't mean to, but because you're coming in a, hey, you did this.
So then, yeah, what he says makes perfect sense. It's like, now I got to say, well, I did this because. So then because you get defensive, you shut down, maybe your tone will rise, all kinds of things. And it's like, that's not how you would want to start off a conversation, Because I think that's all it comes down to. It's like, not an argument. It's not a fight. It's just, let's have a discussion about this. Why am I feeling this way? And maybe even by me verbalizing it, I can really identify why do I feel this way? Because it's one thing for me to kind of like subconsciously feel a certain way that this is happening. But once I say it out loud, maybe it sounds silly. Like, maybe it's like, why do I think this way? But speaking it out loud might actually cause me to think about, what is it that I'm talking about? What is it that I'm feeling? Versus just kind of having my mind just play it in my ear and ear in my mind. And it's like, what am I really doing here? What's really going on? So I think that could also be so it could be not just for you, but also for me speaking it out and speaking it into existence. It might help me understand why I'm feeling a certain way.
Didn't you have one of your coworkers that I think he was with someone and he wanted to get his girlfriend to go to the gym or to work out, and he didn't know how to approach it?
Yeah.
Sounded like a jerk.
Yeah, because the approach was, he didn't know how to approach it. Like, hey, like,
you're fat.
What are we doing? Yeah.
Lose weight.
You lose weight, and it's like, none of it really worked. I mean, I remember I came to you for advice and how to best approach it.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
The second set of eyes.
Second
opinion.
Yeah, second opinion. but that's a big one, and I think a common one. It's like you're in a relationship, things become you become complacent. Somebody gains weight, like it's very natural in the sense that it happens very often.
Could happen, yeah.
Could definitely happen. So how do you address it?
Well, I mean, let me show you this video. I'm gonna send you another one and play it. That way it can overlay, but it's exactly the same thing that we're talking about. Where not so much that it happens, but I mean, it is possible. It is possible that people, they kind of just, they get a little bit too crazy with their weight. And
Oh, I sent you a video. You go first. And then
I
I'll
want to
see if
send you this one so you can play it. That way it can overlap for you, Marvin.
Let me
Here
see.
you go. So sent your way. And look, this is how they first started dating. And then if you play the video, it'll show how they look like now.
My 5-year husband and I divorced because I was fat.
Oh,
He regrets it now, and I live a healthier life. She looks amazing. No surgery, no diet. 12 months, I did it.
I put the coffee name on my homepage. If you need to lose weight, you can try it.
So then when you go to the comments, the things people won't do for love, but will do out of spite. You should refund him for wasting his time.
Why not do it while married?
That's the thing. He didn't deserve you at your best because you never gave it to him.
That's a weird way to say I didn't care about myself while I was married. Comment section backfired.
Too fat to keep my husband, but look at me now. Gets remarried and gains it all back.
They won't change for the man they're with, but they'll change to replace him.
A bar.
Dude, but to that point, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people, why not before the divorce? And it's like, it's so true because, and I say this to people all the time, would you look how you do right now if you weren't with your partner? And if you say, no, I wouldn't, I would look better because maybe I would be in the gym more, etc., eat healthy or whatever, then you're not only doing a disservice to him, but also to yourself.
Yeah, you're also within that relationship and you're choosing to not give a fuck while you're in the relationship,
Yeah.
to rather be single and fit, to then catfish someone to get you when you're single, to what? Go back and get fat? while you're in a
Exactly.
relationship?
But it's also goes to saying, like you're saying, now that I'm single, I'm going to have to lose the weight, do all these things because no one else will want me how I look like. Like I look like this now, the dating market is not going to be too kind for me. So let me lose all the weight and let me look really, really good so I can find somebody else.
And then
but
repeat the cycle.
Exactly.
If
But you
I-
had someone. Why not just be healthy and be fit and be it's not just about the physical appearance, but it's also how you feel. We've talked about this all
It's
the
not
time.
just that, dude. Just give a fuck,
Yeah.
bro. Like, why all of a sudden you want to give a fuck that you're single when you could have given a fuck when you were in your relationship?
Putting in energy and going to the gym and eating healthy, whatever, before you were fucking slob.
It's all about effort, dude. That's like your lack of effort while you're in the relationship. It's not like, for me, when I look at that, it's like, dude, okay, maybe you're overweight. You know, you're not doing shit about it. But the fact that you didn't try for you. What makes me think that you're gonna try for me? Or if you want like this to work, or God forbid something happens that we gotta fight through something, we have obstacles.
Yeah.
But like, you just gave up on yourself. How am I expected to count on you whenever I need you for something?
Yeah.
Can't even be there for yourself. But no, now that you broke up and that you're single, you're like, fuck, let me do this for me so he can see what he lost. Like, no, dude, like he lost someone who was fat.
Yeah.
Someone who didn't give a fuck.
Because
Didn't give a fuck about yourself, didn't give a fuck about him.
because you were not the same person when you were in the relationship. Because clearly now you're motivated, you're inspired, you were dedicated, you had all these attributes that clearly you weren't expressing when you were with the person. So, fuck you.
But now I throw this at you.
Tell me.
Do you think that her man approached it at all? And if so, how did he?
Her ex, I mean, we would have to speculate.
But that's how we started off this episode of, hey, how do you address, because he could have probably been like, yo, you fat bitch, lose weight. But maybe if he's like, hey, we need to talk about something because lately I've been struggling to find some sort of attraction. to you."
Right. And we don't know how he looks like.
It's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but I
Exactly.
think it's an easier delivery than, hey, you might want to put down the Twinkies.
Exactly. So I guess we don't know what he said, but we can talk about what he should be saying.
Exactly.
So yeah, you want to approach it in a manner of,
So how
Kindness.
how would you address it then?
if my partner gained weight,
Yeah, you're in that
yeah,
situation
you're in
with
that
this lady.
situation, I would say, hey baby,
Uncomfortable situation. But
situation,
yeah,
yeah.
you like being uncomfortable though.
yeah, to a certain degree. I'd be like, hey baby, let's sit down and have a conversation. I want to talk to you about something. Listen, love a relationship. We should have, I do want to have this relationship check-in because I feel like there's certain things I want to talk about. One of them being, I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but it's mine or ours, weight gain. You know, listen, we met 5 years ago. It was a long time ago, but we are not the same person anymore. Like we look different, and I want to bring it up because it's causing a little bit of a concern.
Let's role play. Let's role play.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm your girl.
You're my girl.
Fat as fuck.
Fat as fuck.
Hey Marvin,
Hey, babe.
what's up? You wanted to talk?
I do want to talk. I've been feeling a little bit of distress.
Distress.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God, is this something that I did?
No, it's not. Well, not necessarily. I feel like we've become maybe a little bit too comfortable in this relationship, in this marriage. I feel like we both have gained a little bit of weight, and I feel like I would love for us to. Maybe,
Meanwhile, you haven't gained a pound. I'm here sitting like a big sack of potatoes.
we don't know. Maybe he gained weight too. But
Okay.
I would
thought of you.
I would approach it in a way of like we both like let me help you help yourself. So I would,
I don't need any help.
baby, do.
You're telling me you don't love me?
I love you, and I
So
always
then why
will.
would this be a problem if you love me?
I do love you, but I don't love how you look.
You're such an asshole.
I'm sorry,
That's
babe.
how it's probably gonna go.
She says, I'm like, I'm sorry, babe, but there's a reality. And then I'm like, oh, I want to show you something. This is how you looked when we met 5 years ago.
Yeah, but people change, especially when it's in relationships. It's normal. It happens to everyone.
Doesn't happen to everyone. And it
Y-
shouldn't.
yes,
just
it
because
does.
just because it happens to somebody you know or somebody you've seen on the internet doesn't mean it has to happen to everybody. And I don't want this to happen to us. I love you for you, but you're not at your best right now. And if you weren't with each other, would you look the same way? You can't take you serious. And then I don't know what would you say? I'm like, if we weren't together, would you look like this?
But we are together. And
Right,
This
but-
is what happens in relationships.
No, you. This is not what happens in a relationship. You do not just gain 100 pounds just because you're with somebody, and it's like you're letting yourself.
But
go.
imagine every single time I talk about doing something and then like you make all this delicious food, like what do you expect? You tell me you like it when I cook, I'm cooking and then we eat.
So I want to try something different. I want us to sign up to this gym that we've talked about.
I'm already signed up to the gym.
Well, you know what? Let's go together. Let's change our diet. Let's create a healthier lifestyle, and that's really what it comes down to—a lifestyle, not just I want you to lose X amount of pounds because you're fat. I want us to be healthier.
Oh, now I'm fat. You're calling me fat.
I'm not calling you fat.
You just called me fat.
You are fat.
That's fucked up. I see what you mean, but okay. So good. Kudos.
So
good
so
job,
it's
role play.
yeah. So obviously we don't know how he looks. We don't know their lifestyle, but
It's a delicate
situation. But then it's like it comes to okay, how do we get to this point? Because I would have plenty of conversations before when you like how she looks. I wouldn't have gotten to that point. But I don't know what happened. I don't know the details. But there would have been many conversations. If every day you order Uber Eats or eat fast food, that's a problem because that's not the lifestyle that I want to live. I don't want to live like that. And if we want to have kids, I don't want my kids to be subjected to that. So it's like it's way beyond physical appearance, but also the type of lifestyle that I want to live. I like cooking. I like having healthy meals. I like being active. And if we don't share the same things, and if we started doing that at the beginning and then you stop doing it for whatever reason, letting yourself go, well, now we're having a problem. You know, so there's a certain ways to do it. It depends how your dynamic is of a relationship. I'm very fit. I'm very active. You know, my partner's fit. My partner's active. We share that. We work out together. All that. If things were to stop, then there would be a multitude of conversations that would be happening. Like, hey, like what's going on? Blah 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 blah. It's an uncomfortable conversation. Even we were role playing. I was like, fuck, this is not really this is not fun. And like this is obviously a fake situation. So I can only imagine.
But it could. That's the kind of response that you could
right.
get. Like they're not as receptive. So then at that point, how do you go about it when what you're trying to do is be nice?
Yeah.
Like that's how hard it is.
Yeah.
Because imagine you could be like, yo, like you've been putting on some weight. You got to go to the gym, and that's obviously the worst way you can approach it. But even when you were trying to do it right, obviously I was exaggerating, but people come across that, and it's almost like, well, how do I make this about me? You know, like how do I make this about me? And I think that's what's difficult without the other person feeling like it's about them.
To me, it's a very hard thing because like if it's not an offensive thing to say like, yo, you've gained 20 pounds. Why are you mad at me for saying it? You're the ones who gained the 20 pounds.
Right.
If you're gonna be mad at me, I didn't force you to eat the things. I didn't force you to gain the weight. So if my girl if I gain weight, I would welcome that conversation.
Yes,
but it's very. I know it's a very unique. How I'm thinking is a.
That's the thing.
I'm thinking in a way that is unique to me. Not everybody's gonna think.
You can't expect everyone to think the way that you do.
100%.
And that's for everybody. For everybody, you got to be open to other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, and how they perceive things. Because to this point, for him, Marvin, if I'm like, yo, Marvin, you've been looking a little pudgy, dog. He'll be like, fuck, dude, I got to get to the gym. But if I were to tell it to Claudia, let's just be like, yo, Claudia, you've been looking like you've been putting on some punches. She'll probably go to you after like, dude, do I?
And I'll be like,
but think of the position I put you in, because you see what I mean? So that's how it's so delicate of how you approach it. And I also think especially more towards women, because we're more like, yo, just fucking give it to me straight, dog.
Yeah.
Where they're more like, don't be insensitive. You know, you have to kind of like think like them and how they would want to hear it before you deliver the message. You can't deliver it how you would deliver it.
I get it.
You got to deliver how you think they would deliver, how they would receive it.
I just, certain things you got to be delicate, but I also don't like the idea of tiptoeing around a situation that's clearly an issue.
It's not that. Man.
Give it to me straight,
I'm talking, for you, but I can't give something straight to Christina because she's going to think I'm fucking. Bro, there's times that I just be telling her, I'll be mentioning something, and she'll just be like, yo, like, why are you attacking me? I'm like, dude, I'm mentioning. Like, oh, this wasn't put here. Or I'll be like, for example, I'll be like, yo, where's the alcohol thing? Like, it's always here. And then she'll be like, oh, I don't know. I moved it. And I'm like, well, if you don't know where it is, I need to know where is it then? Like, you moved it. And then she'll be like, well, it was disorganized. You know that we have to push it away. And it's like, yo.
Yeah.
Conversation. Things like that. So it's also like how they're feeling sometimes. But that's the thing. You got to just watch out how they receive the information, because that's how you got to deliver it. If you deliver it the way that you think that it should be, it's probably wrong.
Yeah, I get it, man. I mean,
being a guy's hard.
It's hard. I feel like this is why, I mean, obviously, you've said it all, like, the best way to kind of prevent these situations is to kind of, like, to not fall into these things is to address them at the beginning as the relationship goes. Like, start a relationship. Hey, listen, I'm all about transparency. If you see something you don't like, address it.
Or every month, every month, I think it's cool for us to check in and see how everything is going on, just so we can you can tell me about your month, what you thought was great, what you thought was bad, what we can work on. And if everything's great, cool, we'll reassess next month. If not, we'll address it then so it doesn't prolong. And
and it doesn't become into a huge issue because, it doesn't need to be that way. But, I mean, I understand that's a sensitive topic for a lot of women, more so probably than guys. But if you're willing to do all these things after the relationship, after the marriage is over, then I'm sorry, I have very little sympathy because it's with you. I do, because clearly you're capable of doing it. It's one thing if you gain weight because of a medical condition, pregnancy, postpartum. Those are all legitimate reasons as to why a person would gain weight. A woman would gain weight. But if you just choose to gain weight because you're lazy, you're a slob, you're a fat piece of shit, like,
this episode
was
supposed to be about how to address things.
That's how you address it, dude. Fuck.
Point is, try to, you know what another thing is? I think what you can do to approach that situation, this topic specifically. I mean, imagine if you go like, listen, there's been something that I've been wanting to tell you, but I have a feeling that, like, I've been afraid to do it because I don't want you to take it the wrong way because of how concerned I am, that I know that you're probably going to think it's one thing when in reality I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned of your health at this point. I didn't want to say it because I know how you are. I know how sometimes how you get, and you might think that I'm coming at you in some sort of way, but just know I'm concerned about your health. It wasn't always like this, and maybe we both have gained a little bit of weight, but from when we started dating till now, there's been a lot of changes. And I'm concerned that change might be a negative one for the future.
Yeah.
Maybe, because at that point, you're like taking everything. Like, yo, like, this is all me, and I'm freaking out. I've been bothered by it. And maybe they'll be like, well, dude, no, I don't want you to be bothered. Like, all right, fuck, I get it. Rather than, yo, we got to talk. I'm concerned about your weight. I think that's how I think you gotta,
Yeah.
piece it together. You gotta win them. One of my old bosses told me, you gotta win them with honey, You want to win them over with honey. Make it sweet. You know, if you need something, bro, don't be aggressive. Hey, bro, something sweet. Like, hey, you know, something nice, something light.
Yeah.
That's usually how you want them. Maybe it works. Try it for yourself.
Let us know how that goes.
Yeah, let me know. No, but in reality,
Fair,
I guess in all seriousness, how have you approached the situation in your relationship and with people that, you know, uncomfortable situations? Has it worked? Has it not? And what have you learned about that? Tell us what worked for you, and maybe we can, share it with the audience. We're always looking for help.
Help each other. Everybody needs to help each other. You know, maybe you have something that worked for you. Fucking share with us. You know, let us know. We'll learn something, and the audience will.
That's the whole reason why we created this platform in the first place, is to have open and healthy conversations without feeling judged and being able to be ourselves. And maybe we're afraid to say a certain thing or act a certain way because we don't feel like it aligns with who we are, but we hear somebody else say it and it works, and we're like, shit, thank you for saying that. We're just here to be the messengers and pass it on over to you. So if you have any good positive messages or anything that works for you, send it our way. That way we can share with the rest of the world to make this world just a little bit better.